In this episode of Flea Market Rescue, we're going to take this old dresser that my son found by the curbside and turn it into a gorgeous buffet. So you ready? Let's go ahead and paint this and flip it. So my son was coming home one night and he called me and he said, "Listen, there's a dresser that I know that you would love. I'm going to pick you up and then let's go take a look at it." And boy, was he right. I could not believe someone had thrown this out. This is just crazy. Look at the hardware on this. It's absolutely beautiful. So him and I tried loading this in the truck. This thing was so heavy, I couldn't even believe it. We only got it halfway in the truck and the other half was hanging out. And that's how we drove home. Good thing it was just down the street because we would have definitely got pulled over. So when we got home, I was able to take a really good look at it, and it had some nicks and some staining and things like that. Nothing that paint couldn't take care of, but it was missing one of those knobs. Luckily, though, I found it in one of the drawers. Thank God. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove all the knobs. You always want to put the screws back into the hardware so that you don't lose it when you go to put them back on. Now that we have all the hardware off, we're going to go ahead and sand the entire piece. We're going to paint this French linen. But we're going to use this bare scuff defense first. I had it color matched to the French linen, and it'll act as a paint and primer in one. It also saves us money too. This paint is so pretty. I love the color of it, and I think this is going to look gorgeous. If you notice, I have something sticking out of the drawers. It's tape so that I can easily open the drawer since we don't have the hardware on it. It's looking fresher already. Don't worry if you don't get every nook and cranny with the paint. We're going to do a layer effect, and that's going to cover those areas you might have missed. So you just want to finish the entire piece in that paint and primer, and then we'll move on to another technique. Now we're going to go on to Annie Sloan Graphite paint, and this is going to bring the detail of our piece out. You just want to take your brush and really dab and get into those grooves and the curves, because this is going to help show our detail in our piece. It's gonna look crazy, but just trust me on this. Now repeat the same process on the rest of the drawers and the doors that have all the detail. And this is what we want it to look like. I told you it was going to look a little crazy. Now we're going to go on to the French linen paint, and this is where we're going to do our second coat, and we're going to do it on top of the black, leaving some of the black showing through so that the detail just pops. Do you see how leaving some of that black, it just kind of outlines the detail? Now you want to do the same thing on all the drawers and also the doors that have all the detail. As you can see, I'm doing the same thing on the corner of this dresser where it has a lot of detail too. I'm just going to finish up the last 2 drawers and then we're going to move to the top. We're going to paint a second coat on the top and we're going to use that French linen by Annie Sloan. And we'll let that dry. Now we're going to use some Paris gray, but we're going to add a little water and we're going to make it like a wash. We're going to highlight the raised areas and we're also going to do the inside of where the frame is. And we're just going to kind of go back and forth in a horizontal pattern. By adding water, it's going to glide on and not make a big blob of paint. You really want to make sure that your brush is wet when you're doing this, and it's just going to give it a nice layered effect. Now I'm just going to finish the rest of the drawers by going back and forth with that Paris gray wash. I love this look. Do you see what kind of beautiful effect you get when you layer your paints? It has this like old worldly kind of look. It's just really gorgeous and I absolutely love it. I'm just going to finish up these doors. Now I'm going to do the wash on the right hand side on the drawers as well as this door here. I started off doing a horizontal pattern, but then I just kind of crisscrossed it and I thought that looked really cool too. So that's something you could do. Now I'm going to move on to the top of the dresser and I'm going to whitewash that. When you're doing the top, you definitely want to stay more horizontal. I would not do a crisscross kind of pattern on that. You kind of want to go back and forth. I already waxed the door on the left. I use clear wax and dark wax to give it a more richer tone, and I'm going to show you on the right door how I did that. So I am using Annie Sloan dark wax right now, and I'm just kind of rubbing that in to give a rich tone on the door. Now, a lot of people use clear wax first. I personally don't, because I feel when I use clear wax and then the dark wax, it's not as dark. So I like using the dark and then I blend it with the clear wax. Now on the top of the dresser, you really don't want it like very heavy streaky, so I am using the clear wax first and then I will go over it with the dark wax. I think that's looking really nice, and just remember, if you have too much dark wax, like you do have like a streak or a blob, clear wax will rub it out. I found out why that knob was not on there. It was actually broken. I had to wire it in, and then I made a little piece with my magic sculpt so that it looked just like the rest of the knobs. Alright, now that we have that repaired, we're going to go ahead and paint these. We're going to paint them with graphite paint. Once the graphite paint was dry, I went ahead and I took the French linen and I went over the knobs with that. Now, you don't want to cover up all the black. The black is where the detail is, so just kind of like paint it, but leave some of that black showing. We're going to go ahead and hit them with a little of that Paris gray paint, and you're going to want to go ahead and just water it down like you did when we did the dresser. Let them dry, and once they are dry, we're going to go ahead and add a little dark wax to them. I have the dark wax on there already, and now I'm blending it with the clear wax. Now there's only one thing for us to do. Put the hardware back on and we are done. It came out absolutely gorgeous. Look at it in the daytime with the natural light shining through. It's so beautiful. Anyway, I put it on Facebook Marketplace and it was sold in just a couple hours for $385. If you like this episode of Flea Market Rescue and you want to see more episodes like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell. I'm Kelly Sherry, and this has been Flea Market Rescue.